Tainui te waka waikato te awa, Ngāti Haua te iwi, kaya te mata, te marae. Kia ora, my name is Mike and I'm a Māori researcher. Research is generated by a question or an issue, for instance, climate change. How are we going to survive as a people in the coming generations? That's the question, so that's what generates the research. If you are working in a university, then researchers are using that material to teach. If you're working for a government agency, then you're writing reports so that the politicians can make decisions. If you're working for a company, then a company is using that information to develop products or to understand how they might use a new technology and those sorts of things. A researcher can study a range of subjects. I specialise in language and culture. The sources of material that can be used in research can come from things like these historical documents. There's a lot of reading, thinking, observing and listening. Nau mai haere mai, koutou ki tō koutou kāinga tuarua. If you're going to be a researcher, then this is going to be your second home. But there are multiple ways that I might conduct my research. Sometimes it's talking with kaumātua, sometimes it's visiting marae. I was inspired by the issues that I saw within my community. I'd spent some time doing some youth work. There were policies that disadvantaged certain parts of our community, and I wanted to understand why that was. So that led me to university. The more questions I asked, the more research I had to do. All of the subjects at school can be important depending on which field of research you're going into. Generally, you need at least a degree, and more likely is that you'll need at least a PhD in the field that you study in. Some advice for a person who wants to become a kaupapa Māori researcher: ako nā te reo, kia kuhu ai, kia kite ai, ngā he tirohanga Māori ki ngā mahi rangahau. So having an understanding of the language helps people reflect on some of the material that was written by our ancestors. Recent research projects I've been involved in included the work that's been done here to establish the living pā, te pā mataora, and how do our values match up with this idea of living more sustainably. Now this living pā is going to be a sustainable building, so any energy that it needs to generate itself. Any water that it uses, it needs to collect that water. The backbone of all of that is in the research that's been done around it. There are a whole lot of questions, there are a whole lot of issues in our communities, right from health, education, justice, climate change. We need people who are thinking and speaking on these issues that have done their time in researching those issues.